this project that we're going to discuss today is funded mainly by the Italia-Malta program, which is the cross-border program, territorial cooperation program between Malta and Sicily. Under the territorial cooperation programs, there are 3 strands of programs on a European level, inter-regional between the different regions. Then there is one specific trans-regional, transnational for the different regions in the European Union. And in our case, we participate in the MED program. We've had a number of projects through that program. And then there is specifically Strand A, the cross-border, which is to enhance collaboration and cooperation between entities sharing a border, basically. Obviously, in our case, since we are an island, we have the southern provinces of Sicily, which are participating in the program with us, along with Catania and Palermo. And this is a strategic project under the Italia-Malta program. It started last year, and the aim is to set up a research center. In fact, that is the title, Creazione di un centro di ricerca italo-maltese per la sostenibilità ambientale e le fonti rinnovabili. Since it is the Italia-Malta program, obviously the languages are both English and Maltese, and that's why the acronym Crim Safri is taken from the Italian name of the project. The project partners are the following. The project is coordinated by the Regione Sicilia, Assessorato Regionale, Territoriale e Territorio e Ambiente, the Department for Urban Development, Urbanistica. Then there is the University of Palermo, the Dipartimento dell'Energia, the Energy Department, the Istituto di Biomedicina et Immunologia Molecolare, the Sicily region, the Assessorato Regionale dei Beni Culturali e dell'Identità Siciliana. Then there is the Chamber of Commerce of Agrigento, and Metoro, which is a company which specializes in communications and reports on expert reports on this nation, on this concept. In the case of Malta, there are 2 partners, Miema, obviously represented by me here, and then there is IMCAST. I can see my colleagues, Dr. Rizzo, who is the director of the Institute for Applied Science, as well as Mr. Wright, Mr. Alex Wright, and Mr. Sammoud.
The carbon dioxide emissions indicate the emissions produced per annum to generate the required amount of energy, and it is a measure of the impact the dwelling has on the environment. So, as per the last legal notices, as of 2009, EPCs are required of almost all buildings which are built or designed, which are sold, which are rented, or which are modified, as in major modifications to the building fabric, or else an extension or the provision of an HVAC system. When carrying out the calculations to estimate the energy use and the carbon dioxide emissions, the indoor conditions, the fabric performance, HVAC systems, domestic hot water, lighting and daylighting, position and orientation of the building, any passive design features, and renewable energy options are considered. As stated in the EU directive, the energy performance certificates shall include energy performance of a building and reference values such as minimum energy performance requirements in order for owners and tenants of the buildings to compare and assess its energy performance. As stated previously, different softwares are used to calculate the energy use and carbon dioxide between dwellings and non-dwellings. For dwellings, we use EPRDM software, and for non-dwellings, we use SBEM, which is based on the UK version, which is a similar program.
Okay. Now they will enjoy the benefits of the energy generated in kilowatt hours and in cents per kilowatt hour. However, It's a new technology. It's a company that has never used the technology. They have their costs. They have the opportunity cost of the wood cuttings and wood waste that they would be using for the plant instead of using for other purposes. They will have downtime on the plant, which means that the plant will not operate at all points in time. So there's a possibility that their costs could actually outweigh the benefits. And we'll find this out in this particular study. So to have an advantageous feed-in tariff for this project, I think serves everyone's purposes. Obviously, with the end goal of sustainability. A feed-in tariff is designed with long-term sustainability in mind. They will not give us, I don't know, 20 euro cents per kilowatt hour for a pilot project and then put it down to 18 cents if the company wants to continue using the system in the future. So that has to be found out. I think that's enough from my end. This will be a technical presentation, so for those of you who are particularly interested in the technology, now is the time to understand more about it. And I'll pass over to my colleague, engineer Chris Samut.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Dr. Good morning, everyone. I am Chris Samut, and I have been appointed by MCAS to assist in the sourcing and earmarking the appropriate type of technology to use both locally in Malta and within the context of the project. Various challenges exist, and I'll be going in a bit more detail later on in the presentation. But first I would like to start giving an overview of what is biomass and why is it an appropriate fuel to use and why it's considered as a renewable.
Per rendere più chiari gli step, queste sono le sottoarticolazioni, quindi è un percorso molto complesso che appunto richiede tempo e soprattutto richiede un coinvolgimento di diversi attori, quindi non è solamente non sono interventi che possono essere risolti solamente con un singolo comune né solamente con esperti interni all'amministrazione, ma richiede la partecipazione nelle diverse fasi di diversi attori. Nel caso di Regione Lombardia ha svolto un ruolo molto importante una fondazione bancaria che si chiama Fondazione Cariplo, che ha finanziato gli audit iniziali e che quindi ha permesso di avere una massa di informazioni utili per poi richiedere negoziare con la BEI il finanziamento degli interventi.
Shell Task 4.1 concerns the application, as you can see, of life cycle analysis, sometimes you see life cycle assessment, okay, and definition of criteria for eco-compatible design of the products examined. Why? Because analyzing, assessing on something which has been built up, it's okay, it's there, it's done. But so what? What would be better is actually to learn lessons learned from that design, from that particular product, and to try to take that, let me say, lessons learned for new designs to make them more eco-compatible. Okay, so that is why there's that type of task definition over there. Very briefly, our company, we were involved, as I said, in this project. We carry out 3 main activities. It's training. We do training, both local training. We do a number of EU-funded training. We have a number of people coming for short courses. For instance, we had on eco-innovation, sustainable development. Now we have augmented reality in education. Anyway, we provide technical support, such as in this case, in this project. And of course, you're also involved in a number of international projects. Erasmus Plus now, we had Horizon 2020, we have other FP7, you know the rest, okay, Leonardo da Vinci, etc., etc. But of course, this particular project falls under this type of area. Of course, if you're interested in knowing what we do as a small company, you can check our website over there, and there are more details on the type of work we actually do. But let's go back on what we're after here. LCA, some background to LCA. Okay, what is this LCA? What is LCA after all?